coming at you guys with a bunch of cool new products that we got into the shop this week. This honestly is stuff that is pretty cool and innovative. You know, a lot of times we just get new colors, new sizes and stuff. But this stuff we got this week is some stuff that came out at ICAST that is finally starting to show up on the shelves. And it's some different stuff. It's pretty cool. I'll jump right into it. First off, we have the Berkley triple minnow rig. Now, not sure how I feel about this guy, honestly. It's something that's going to be either really cool or kind of going to flop, just being straight up. I think this thing's definitely going to have its time and place, though. It's going to have much more drawing power than a single minnow. You know, when you first look at this thing, it comes to mind is an Alabama rig, but it's really not. It's a single hook rig with an attachment for two dummies, and it's a line through, so you actually feed your main line through here and tie on your jig head. But this thing's going to be really cool. I think you're going to be able to throw it on some casting equipment, so you can throw it on a little bit heavier rod for guys that aren't huge fans of throwing around spinning tackle. It's going to be able to give you a completely different presentation as far as shaking a minnow goes. This thing's going to hold up in the water column a lot better just because it's got a lot more drag. Definitely going to give them something they haven't seen before. They're releasing this bait. They did release this bait, if you want to call it a bait. It's more of just a rig like this, just standard. It comes with just the arms and the combination for you to put your own jig head on it and your own minnows. And they're also selling a kit here. They have two different kits. They have a 5-inch and a 4-inch and a 3-inch kit that comes with two different size jig heads and various colors and minnow rigging styles. This comes with their Berkley drip minnow, which is actually a really cool bait as well. They did a really good job designing that one. But this is a cool little deal. Definitely going to try it myself. Throw it around a little bit and see if we can't get bit. Then we got some new Z-Man products, some Z-Man fuzzy products. Everyone's coming out with their own spin-off. This stuff's cool because it's made out of their Elastec material, which is very buoyant and durable. I mean, these things are going to be able to last forever. You can, rig them a bunch of different ways, but they came out with the fuzzy nuggets, which is your dice style, if you will, just a small body profile. And then they came out with the fuzzy TRD, which is basically their normal TRD style Ned rig bait. They incorporated the fuzziness to it. You're gonna be able to throw it the same way you would rig your normal Ned rig stuff, and you can throw it on a drop shot and wacky rig it maybe some other different ways. So that will be cool to play with as well, just because of that Elastec material. That's what's going to make it different than the rest of the stuff on the market. Keeping with that fuzzy bait trend, Strike King and the boys at Rather Outdoors have the Sexy Bug. They came out with a 2-inch and 3-inch size, bunch of different colors, and this guy is pretty cool as well. It is a 2-segmented body, and with a little joint in the middle there, that's actually where you're supposed to rig this bait. And it's different. You're going to be able to kind of wacky rig this almost, and it's got plenty of space here to insert a nail weight if you want to kind of do a real micro Nico rig, or throw it at suspended fish, whatever you want to do there. So that's a cool guy too. It's got some ribs on it that's going to help hold it up in the water column and move a little bit more water. But that's definitely going to be another one to play with, in the world of dice baits. We're starting to see a lot more of those. Moving on, we have the Hog Farmer Utility Player. I know they spent a lot of time designing this one and getting this one just right, and I think they did a really cool job with this one. It's a worm that you're going to be able to Nico rig. I think that's kind of the first thing that comes to my mind when I open this bait up, but it's definitely not limited to just that. It's got some slots in here that you're not going to be able to see in this video, but it's got slots that are going to be able to hold a wacky band, which will help make the worm more durable and easier to use on the Nico rig. It's got plenty of body down here to insert a nail weight, and it's also got this rib segment here. What that's going to do is give the bait a little bit bigger profile, one, and slow it down a little bit in the water column and make the worm drag a little bit more. so it's going to keep that nose down on a Nico rig. And then it's got, you know, just your standard taper down to bulbous tail, which is going to give you movement in the water on a Nico rig. If you want to Texas rig it, shaky head, it's going to be a cool shaky head worm too, just because of the amount of material that's up here. It's going to be able to hold a hook well, and excited to get this one out on the water too. It's got, I think, 5 or 6 different colors, all your standard colors, your green pumpkins. This is the plum. So that's going to be a cool one, and those guys did a really good job kind of breaking into the worm side of the soft plastic industry. Everyone knows their spunk shads and their other different minnow baits, but that's a new addition as well. Some more from Z-Man. We have the Swag LT, which is a line through swim bait that gives you both options for the top hook as well as a treble hook harness for the belly as well. So before, if you wanted a line through style bait, you were kind of limited to either a top hook or a bottom hook. This bait is going to give you the option of both. Came out in a 6-inch and 5-inch size, a bunch of different colors. They're slow sinking. These are going to be cool to use too, especially in the spring as we start throwing a lot more soft swim bait. In the winter too, there's no reason you can't throw them in the winter. That's when I like to throw them a lot. But we got these guys in. They have slots for nail weights if you want to add additional weight to them. And like all Z-Man stuff, it's made out of their really durable Elastec material that's super stretchy and has really good lifelike movement. These baits have a pretty unique wedge tail style. It's kind of like a hybrid almost, just by looking at it, between a wedge tail and your standard boot tail. So these things are going to have a lot different action, more of a hunting head wag. So these are going to be unique and really cool to get out there and use. They're going to last a long time. The harness isn't going to fall out like you have problems with some other similar style baits. Megabass also released not too long ago the Sling Shad. It's a 5-inch minnow style bait. The profile is pretty standard, but what makes this bait unique is the material that it's designed. It's made overseas with a different plastic formula that you don't see a lot in American baits. Plastic's weighted to be designed to throw for your mid-strolling techniques. It's a solid body. It doesn't have a huge split in the belly, which is going to hold a jig head a little bit better. It does have a split for, you know, Texas rigging applications, but it doesn't go all the way up into the back to make it difficult to thread a jig head. So these guys are really cool. They got a bunch of cool colors. Megabass always does a really good job in their colorways. So check these guys out. They're fairly affordable. You get 6 in a pack, and that is the Megabass Sling Shad. Last but not least is the new Shimano Sustain that we got in this week. We got in the 2500 and 3000 sizes in this reel. They revamped this one this year, and I got to see it at ICAST, and I was really impressed, and even more impressed when I kind of got it in the shop and got to do a little bit more playing with it. They packed it with a bunch of features that they passed down from higher end spinning reels, and I cannot wait to get this one on the water. I'm gonna you'll probably see a few of these on my front deck coming up soon. Most notably, they added the slow oscillating spool feature that they had on their really high-end spinning reels. And what this does is lays your line better on your spool for casting and both retrieval. It lays your line tighter so it doesn't bind when you get a real hard drag pull. That is a really cool feature, and it really improves your casting, especially when you're using very small diameter braided lines that most guys are using now. This stuff's cool. They revamped the aesthetics. This reel looks sweet, that kind of matte gray with gold accents. Drag system was upgraded as well. It has the Duracross drag, which is just incredibly smooth, very consistent, so you don't have those drag surges that end up leading to break-offs and stuff, especially when you get a fish real close to the boat. So that guy is really cool, and I'm excited for this reel a lot. I've been looking forward to this one releasing for a few months. These are the new products that we got in this week. There's a bunch that showed up all at once, too much to just do individual videos. So If you guys want to check this stuff out, go to our website at realdealtackle.com, or you can drop by the shop. We'd be more than happy to kind of showcase some of this new stuff for you guys. And as always, feel free to follow our social media accounts across all platforms and be on the lookout for new content and new products as they come in. Thanks, guys.